hello. Hey guys, welcome back to the One Man Show, the only, the first, and the number one fight podcast in Singapore, where we get people from the Singapore fight scene on and try to talk about fighting for a good 5 minutes before we go on rambling about nonsense. I am the man, and over there is the one. And today we have a special guest with us. He's 21 years old. He's also a SEA Games silver medalist. Benjamin Chia. Chia? Which
Chia,
one?
Benjamin
All
Chia.
right.
Yeah,
Welcome, Benjamin. Welcome to the show, man. How are you doing?
good man. Thanks for having me. So yeah, I'm just excited to share with you guys what my journey as a jiu-jitsu athlete is like in Singapore. So yeah.
So, first of all, when we talk about jiu-jitsu, right?
Mhm.
Say, so Ridhwan is in boxing, so he's a boxer, right?
Mhm.
So for a jiu-jitsu person, what do we call them? Do we call them a jiu-jitsu fighter, jiu-jitsu practitioner? What is it? I always get confused.
Hmm. I would say it's called like a jiu-jitsu practitioner, I guess. Yeah, I wouldn't. I would call myself a fighter as well, but some people don't like it because we don't actually like punch and kick, kind of thing. So I don't know. It really depends. Like judo guys, they call themselves judokas. So it
Mm.
kind of depends.
So
Yeah.
you
So
guys can also be called BJJ cast.
yeah, I guess you could call it that. Yeah. Yeah.
uh, so
Mm.
you've been. I mean, you are a SEA Games silver medalist in jiu-jitsu, which I think is quite new in the SEA Games, right?
Yeah. Actually, jiu-jitsu about this. At first, it started off with that was in 2018. Then the next event that they actually held, which was like a country kind of, was SEA Games. So actually, SEA Games, we were the first team to actually go for yeah last year. So yeah, it was a long process of like selections. I had to go through like national trials and had to compete in like competitions like in Mongolia in the Asian Championships, and that's when you can kind of qualify to make the team. So took a while, and yeah, last year I was in national. So I'm still in national service actually. So it's kind of like very hard for me to juggle training full time and at the same time competing at an extremely high level. Because the guys I fought or mostly like black belts. Yeah, there were a lot of black belts in the competition, so it was like open belt kind of stuff last year.
So
So
2018 was the first time that Singapore they actually have a jiu-jitsu tournament in the SEA Games. It was the first
Yes,
time.
yes.
Okay. I think
So
okay.
yeah.
Maybe you can tell us like how like you were selected because I know I'm in the boxing scene,
Mhm.
but I've already heard news that the jiu-jitsu industry is a little bit dodgy, and in the way they selected some people where they say some people have a little bit more accomplishments and they could have gone, but they didn't. But other people are chosen instead because of certain something. So how do you explain like how you were chosen?
Okay, so basically, at the start, we were all kind of given an opportunity. Everyone, at first, for the Asian Games team, right? It's kind of different.
Mhm.
Nobody actually really knew about the trials. They selected people who with like a very good accomplishments. But they decided to scrap that, and then they made it more fair. So they kind of held the national trials. So it's like a national jiu-jitsu championships. Then from then on, they actually, whoever won like the top three were qualified uh, to be able to compete. So I think that's kind of like more fair. And man, people who didn't make the cut were people who either didn't compete or they just didn't do well in the rest of the competitions. So I think that was like a kind of like a more fair way to judge and how to select the team. I think last year was a good year for the team Singapore because we actually had the best guys who signed up for the national trials, and we all really fought our hard to make the team. Yeah.
So how many days was this like a tournament or a trial?
So the national jiu-jitsu trials was a one-time thing. So if you won top three, basically, yeah, if you won top three, he was selected to go to the Asian Games, Asian Jiu-Jitsu Championships, which was held in Mongolia. So that was like I think 3 months or 2 months after the national trials. So after that, you come back, and if you do well, and you guys have a chance to, if you guys have a chance to win, right, and you guys get placed like a good placing in the competition, you go to the national talent trials. You know, so for me, like I placed fifth in Mongolia. So
Mhm.
I lost to black belt from Hong Kong, which was a really really close fight. Yeah, and I actually did the best, one of the best. I had one of the best performance of the team, even though I didn't medal, but I had like the best performance. Because I fought really really tough guys, and like all the guys were actually bigger than me, and they were way more experienced. Because they were all black belts. When back then, when I was just like a blue belt. Yeah.
Okay, well, we went straight into the spicy stuff with how one brought up, like how the BJJ selection things were all like, dodgy and stuff like that. But before
Yeah.
we indulge more into that, you're 21 years old, you're already a SEA Games medalist. Uh, Tell us, how do you get started on with jiu-jitsu? Because when I would say, for a fight fan like myself, like jiu-jitsu did not really come into the spotlight until the rise of the UFC being in the mainstream and stuff like that. When people started to realize, like, oh, okay, there is this martial art called Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which a lot of the UFC established fighters and the famous fighters, uh, they practice it, and it's become a part of what you need to be a mixed martial artist now. It's very important to have a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background and stuff like that. But for yourself, and how did you find out about BJJ? And can you tell us your journey in the BJJ world, when it started and stuff like that?
Yeah. So basically, uh, let's start way actually started martial arts. So back in the end of 2014, I actually weighed at my heaviest weight of 100. So I was really really fat. And back then I just finished my O levels, and I was going to transit to polytechnic. So man, so my dad actually brought me to Bukit Timah Plaza. Yeah, then we always go to NTUC there. And there was a gym that actually just opened up, and they were like giving out brochures at the entrance of NTUC. So my dad just, hey, you very fat. Then you should just go and try, go and like lose some weight, you should do something. If not, you maybe just like sit at home, just don't like not do anything, just like play games or like just rot. And I was kind of hurt lah. Right? At the same time, I was like, you know what, man, I should give it a try. So my dad brought me up, and we we he actually said, okay, if you manage to lose the weight, you know, I would like buy you something, or like at that point of time, I can't actually remember what he exactly said, but he said like buy me something as a kind of that sort of like thing. So I was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna prove him wrong. I do not need what he's gonna buy for me, but I'm gonna prove him wrong that I can actually lose the weight. So we started off. We did like a trial fitness assessment with the trainer. Man, I puked my ass out. Like literally, like when he did like box step ups, basic like star jumping jacks and things like that, and I like puked after that. And that was like the point where I was like, man, you know what? I gotta start changing my life. Cause every time my like bedtime snack, right, would be a double McSpicy with like
Wow.
extra fries or something like that, or like I don't know, cup noodles. I really love the Shin ramen.
Oh
So
my God,
back then I
that
was
sounds
like,
like my supper still now to this very day.
yeah, yeah. I still eat that like sometimes now. Then man, it brings back memories. I eat like a lot of like instant noodles and like junk back in the day. And basically I did that, and I actually felt that I was really scared of my health. At that point of time, it was really bad because climbing stairs and doing basic stuff, I had to really like catch my breath every time. So I did that, and so I told my dad, you know what, sign me up for the like fitness training, and then he did. So I actually posted if you look back way back in my Instagram, I actually posted a photo saying that I'm going to lose 20 kilos in 6 months. And
Oh, there's a
my
lot.
friends, yeah, and my friends, like, all just started laughing, man, like commenting below, you can never do it, all this kind of thing. And then, like, I was very disheartened. At the same time, I was super motivated. So fast forward, I did all that fitness training, and I did like cardio boxing and things like that with my trainer. And I actually lost 20 kilos in 3 months.
Wow.
So yeah, and I lost a lot of weight because for one, I wake up early at that point of time every day. I eat oatmeal for breakfast, for broccoli, for potatoes, for like my lunch and dinner every, and I only had like one cheat meal for like that point of time. I was so focused, and at the same time, I was training like once or twice a day at the gym, depending on like how intense the training was. So man, because I just had drive, and like I feel that not many people at my age can develop that like
The
mental
discipline.
drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, the discipline. Because man, a lot of people nowadays, I see like guys my age, they just like they start off saying that they want to do something, and in the end they just like start from it in the end because it's tough, and that the things that they try to do, they rush. You may think that 20 kilos in 3 months is a lot of weight, but I feel like I rushed it. But to me, man, it was like the perfect pace because I felt that I was doing everything right because I was eating well, I was sleeping well, training well, and I had the time at the point of time. And I felt that my I was just slowly starting to develop like a better habits for me to be a better person. And I started to improve my lifestyle. Not only that, I started to be like a better person, try to like help others at the same time at the gym. So they like a lot of people, especially like the gym has like a couple of like old aunties, they try to do their workouts and stuff. And they're always very inspired like how I managed to lose the weight. So I always like talk to them and share with them about my struggles, and like sometimes where it's hard, because you're just craving the food,
I
or
know all
maybe,
about that.
man, you're just not trained that day. So yeah, yeah, man, as athletes, I'm pretty sure when it comes to weight cuts and things like that, we all kind of like know that feeling. And yeah, so fast forward, lost all that weight, and I was like getting bored of like just lifting weights all the time. So yeah, about I think earlier, like towards like mid of 2015, I picked up Muay Thai. So I went to the biggest gym in Singapore that does Muay Thai. We all know. So I signed up there, and I did Muay Thai for about a year until like 2016. So and I didn't have any fights yet at the point of time. So I was training a lot. I lost the weight. I managed to go to my lowest weight at about 70 kilos. Yeah, and about 2016. So super. I was doing a lot of cardio, and yeah. So, but I did Muay Thai. Then I switched gym because of how expensive it was. So I switched to like a like kind of like a cheap
A more
gym.
local gym.
Gym, man, that gym helped me out. Yeah, a more local gym at the point of time. And that gym really helped me out. Like the guys were putting in more effort to me. They knew that I really wanted to have like a fight, so they were training me for that fight. So eventually, I got a fight from one of the promotions in Singapore, a Muay Thai fight, a kickboxing fight. So I trained really hard, got injured before the fight, but I still continued. I did the fight, but in the first round, I broke my ankle. So I dislocated and fractured my ankle from like a kick. Yeah. So man, that was super scary because when I was lying down in the ring, like the medic who came up to me is like, "Oh man, I think it's just a sprain. It looks like just a sprain. I think you can continue." I was like, "Dude, fuck you, man. It's not a sprain." I literally feel like being like popped out. So I went to hospital by my mom and dad, which were there. And then the doctor said that my foot was dislocated and they had to pop it back in, and I fractured my fibula, I think. So I was super sad back then, and yeah, then I actually didn't do any. training for like the first month, and then I was like my trainer at the gym. He texted me. He was like, "Bro, I need you back, man. I need you to stay motivated." He's a really good friend of mine, so he's like, "I want you back. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna give you workouts that you can do with the cast on, and all you need to do is show up." And that's what I did. I sped up my rehab super fast. I could walk in about 3 months. I didn't do surgery because I was still young back then. Doctors didn't require surgery and things like that. And when I came back to the gym, the Muay Thai gym, I was like, you know what? Fuck this, man. I'm not gonna do Muay Thai ever again, man. It's so scary. I couldn't. I got kicked back because my foot. I tried to kick, but my foot was like, man, it was so painful. So, there was a Brazilian professor. His name is Italo at the gym. He was like, man, Ben, you should try jujitsu. I think it's gonna help you a lot because you still have memberships at the gym. If you want to come train jujitsu, by all means, just try. At least try and you'll love it. Then after that, I was like, okay, you know what, professor, I'll give it a go. So my first few classes, I actually taped up my foot using like athletic tape, with like a lot of tape, and I couldn't feel the pain. And I just tried the classes. And I was like, back in my old gym, I had jujitsu also, but the focus wasn't there. That's why I didn't really go for the jujitsu classes. But when new gym at that point of time, I went to Trifecta. Okay. And the guys over there, the professors, they were like way more focused on you, and they were really specific to detail. Everything that they taught, they explained. So I was like, man, you know what? Jiu-jitsu is actually, it's not, there's like sport jiu-jitsu and like self-defense. I fell in love with sport jiu-jitsu. When you learn sport jiu-jitsu, you kind of learn how to do self-defense. So I I started training, training, training. I showed up at like literally every class every single day, even when I had school. I recovered my foot. I was a white belt. I was training like twice a day. I would wake up at like so we have like a WhatsApp group where like all the old like adults and like the professors, we were like, you know what? A lot of the guys can't make it for the night classes, so we decided to go for like a 6:30 a.m. class where like it's free. You guys can do anything you want. The black belts will be there to help. If you have any questions, you guys can come over, and just train. So I showed up like almost every single day at the 6:30 class. Yeah, because I live pretty close to the gym, so I had to take the bus. After the 6:30 class, I go to school. When I finish school, I go home and rest. Then I go for the 6:30 or 6 o'clock class. And that's like that man. That was like every single day. You know, and I just fell in love with jujitsu. Because it's more of like chess. I would feel jujitsu is more like chess. You have to think before you actually do a move, and more instead of like Muay Thai, you actually have to like react, on the spot. But jujitsu, you have time to think. So when you have time to think and you act, you can kind of like save yourself. So there's a lot of positions in jiu-jitsu where you can actually stall and you can wait and you can really think of how you're going to attack. But one wrong move, right, is just going to mess you up for the rest of the fight. So I really like that aspect of like jiu-jitsu. And, and also I was surrounded by, uh, man, they really helped me a lot. It was like they pushed me to be the best version of myself. And all these guys I still keep in contact today. And then some of the professors, they moved to right now, just get new fit. Yeah, I've been training with them since the start. You know, competing at white belt and at blue belt. But when I was competing at white belt, I put a lot of pressure on myself because I'm very competitive. You know, and every time I would go to compete, I would lose. So the first competition, I flew to Malaysia actually with one of my professors. So I lost that fight, but I was like, man, it's like the best thing I've ever done. Number one, I didn't get injured. You know, Number two, I just like really like the adrenaline. When you go in, you grab the guy, you pull his gi. Even though I didn't know what I was doing back then, I was just like, what, like like all the techniques that sometimes some of them work, some of them didn't work. So it's really fun for me. I just kept training. So fast forward, I was training and I got my blue belt actually in about less than a year because man, I was training every day. I was training super hard. I was very competitive, even against like the blue belt guys, you know. So when the time came, I received from my professor. Man, I cried like a baby. I still have the video actually when I received my blue belt because he kept me at the point of time like Ben. He was like Ben, are you done with your exams? Are you done with your exams? Because back then I was having my exams and I was training at the same time. So, but the focus was more on jiu-jitsu actually. So I was like, man, professor, don't worry about me. You know, I can manage my studies and my training at the same time. You know? So he kept asking me, and it was like a Friday night. He was like, when everybody was like about to bow out from class, he was like, okay, guys, uh, I'm gonna today. It's a very special day. You know, this guy is working really hard. Blah 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 blah. And and that can't be me because there's this one other guy in the class that works twice as hard as me. You know, I was like, nah, it's not my day. You know, I mean, the time comes, it will. Then when he called out my name, I was at the corner of the mats. I was, when I heard it, I was like crying. And he whipped out a blue belt from his gi. I was crying like a little baby, you know. So yeah, that actually really motivated me. And a lot of people they say like when you reach blue belt in jiu-jitsu, right, you kind of quit, you know. You kind of reach like god level status, you know, you're like able to compete at like against the best in Singapore at that point of time, you know. When you got blue belt at that point of time, all the best guys were already blue. There weren't many competitive belts or like brown belts at that point of time yet. So yeah, it's kind of like god level status at that point of time, you know. And then like everyone wanted to be blue belt. But those people who were blue belts, they kind of quit because they felt that they were getting too
Mm.
comfortable and they to class because they think that they know everything, you know. But it was at blue belt where I kind of like learned to discover what jiu-jitsu is, how to control my strength, how to think when I fight, you know. So I was still developing that at the early of blue belt. So when I kind of competed, I I lost like everything. I reached the finals, I would lose. I would reach the quarterfinals, I would lose. You know, I would always I've never won gold at my first year at blue belt. So I was a blue belt for 2 years. So but at my second year, where I actually joined national service, right? So right before I joined national service, I signed up for a big competition in Japan called Asian Open. So it's like in our federation, that's like a very prestigious title. You know, if you win Asian Open, you will be considered one of the best in Asia at that belt. You
Is
know,
it
so
like
I fought.
self-funded for the tournament?
Yes. So at the point, everything was self-funded at the point of time. Everything, whatever I traveled Philippines a lot to fight at white belt and blue belt, and it's all paid for by myself and my parents. My parents were like my biggest supporters. You know, my dad follows me to every single competition without fail, and my mom tries to like go overseas with me sometimes. My mom flew to US with me to fight the Worlds in
So
2018.
when you go there, you represent your own gym or you represent the country?
I represent my own gym. Yeah, at that
Okay.
point of time because we didn't have like a national team back then, you know.
Mm-mm.
So you would represent for us we representing New Fit and GF team at that point of time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I fought the Asian Open. Man, I lost at the quarterfinals, but it was like the best fight I have ever had, you know. And before that, I fought the Worlds in California, and I lost my second round. But it was like an eye-opening experience also because I knew what the level was. You know, when I fought world-class guys, man, you could see the energy and you could see how they prepare, how they train, how their mental focus was like before they actually entered the mat, you know. Back then I didn't have any expectations to win or to go in and perform, you know. I just wanted to feel how it was like. So that when the next time I come back, I'm more than ready for it. So I flew to California with my mom and yeah, I fought the first round. I did pretty well. And then after that I fought the second round. I lost to the guy that he made it all the way into the quarterfinals or semifinals, which he already had like 4 fights after to make, or like 5 fights to make the quarterfinals. You know, that's how stacked the division was. There was like 200 guys in the division. So yeah, I learned a lot from that. Then after that, I went to Asian Open. and I lost. So after I lost that, I went to national service. So I enlisted into the army. So I was like prepared, man, my jiu-jitsu is gonna suck. I knew that it was coming, And like I didn't have any expectations for myself to train because I was in Tekong at that point of time. And yeah, I just didn't expect much. But the thing is, when you don't expect much, especially like things like jiu-jitsu and you don't have enough time to train, you would cherish every opportunity that you have to train. So each book out that I had, I would go train. And I loved I fell in love with jiu-jitsu even more, because you just so much and you just want to do, you want to spar, you want to do techniques. You look at Instagram in the camp and you'll be like, man, this technique, but I can't try it right now. So I have to wait and all the way until the weekend and I get to try it, you know? And I really, really
People busy
love,
see
I fell
girlfriend
in
all
love
you
with
go.
jiu-jitsu even. So,
People busy
sorry?
see girlfriend. People busy see girlfriend. You can't wait to go out and rolling out with guys.
Yeah, that's why. So I have my training partner, right? This guy called Nathaniel. He also enlisted to the army with me. And then we're always together. We always train together. And he's the same age as me also. So we were pretty much like best friends. And then both of us, right, we were always together. Everyone thought we were gay. Because like we were always together. Then we
Then
wanted to train jiu-jitsu together,
they
we were
catch you
catching up
rolling
in
around the
this.
room.
Yeah, so it's kind of gay. Yeah. So
Well, wait.
so my friends actually thought that I'll be like trying moves on them in camp.
Firstly,
Sorry?
there's nothing wrong if that is your choice. That's how you want to roll. We're not here to
Yeah.
shame your choices. But secondly, I mean, it's always good to actually have somebody nearby who has the same passion, right?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Man, Nathaniel was the guy that actually inspired me even more because he works way harder than me, It may sound kind of like cringy and things like that, but that guy, right, even until now, he's like a stale personnel in the army, so he can book out. Man, the guy is like best E, right? Why he has like a six pack and he fights professional jiu-jitsu and things like that. So like I don't know what the army is seeing, man. So it's kind of weird. The guy excuse uniform, excuse boots, everything. Why? But he's super fit. Yeah,
Okay, wait, hold on. When you
yeah.
see professional jiu-jitsu practitioner, right? How do you recognize yourself as being professional or like amateur? If there's such a thing, I don't know.
For me, I would feel that because right now I'm competed at the highest level and I have like sponsors and things like that. So when I started to call myself kind of like professional is when I started to have people who actually believe in me, and they sponsor me. And like these are big companies. These are not like just like side companies that like, oh, I'm gonna sponsor you this, but you have to buy my products, that kind of thing.
So it's
They
like you're
actually believe in my
professional.
work.
So it's like you're professional because you choose to do it sort of like full time, that kind of thing.
Yes, and I would view that because I compete at like the big competitions, and even if you compete at the big competitions, I mean, you can choose not to be professional. I mean, I take this seriously because it's a hobby, but I take it very seriously, That's why I would feel that for me it's professional. I do not make a huge living out of it, but I just feel that competing at the highest level and like winning at the highest level, I feel that I've kind of like I'm reaching at that level of like professionalism, So I'll call myself, yeah.
Now, Benji, I want to ask you, right?
Mm.
Jiu-jitsu is a martial art where there is different belts, right? I mean, you start
Yeah.
from white and then you go to blue and so on and so forth, right? But
Mm.
in terms of competition, right? Well, how do they categorize you guys? Do they let you fight uh by belt or by weight or what is it like?
Okay, so in IBJJF Federation, which is like the biggest federation, it's by belt and weight. And there's also the open class, where it's like an open weight absolute fight, Uh But the ones that I fought for SEA Games, the trials and everything, they were all open belt, but categorized at the weight. So last year I fought middleweight, which was like under 85 kilos. So and it was like white to black belt. You can be a white belt, a good white belt that made into the national team. I have a friend that actually did that. His name is so he was a white belt, but he managed to go to the weight class above me. Yeah, and he competed against black belts and things like that. And he did pretty well. So yeah, I think it's possible. Yeah.
If I was to say, right, uh, so this love for martial arts, this love for jiu-jitsu actually came from, first and foremost, your dad calling you fat. God bless your dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
but but do you think that your dad has made up for it by sponsoring you to go all these competitions or no?
Definitely. Definitely. Without the support of my parents, right? Man, I wouldn't be able to travel to anywhere. Even let alone like paying competition fees, it's really, really costly because it's not like the sport where like soccer or something where everything is funded for the team. Even for we had to pay everything ourselves. Even the trials, going to Mongolia, things like that. All of us had to pay, and we received support towards the end where we started to show results. So, but man, I felt that it's necessary because I'm not gonna lie, it's painful for me to come out of my own pocket. But at the same time, right, I feel that it's necessary to invest in the sport because it's still very new. Not many people knows about the sport. So we were the first generations of guys who fought, and we invested in ourselves. And I feel that we made very, very good progress.
I think your dad secretly, he might be telling himself like, I should not have called him fat. It cost me so much money, right? So
Man,
that
I'm pretty.
if you're listening, there's maybe there's a bit of karma, but yeah, also thank you for investing in him. Look, it turns out quite well.
Thanks, bro.
Benji, we're just gonna take a bit of a break now, and we're gonna
Yeah.
do a couple of questions. We call this quick jabs, where we're just gonna ask you things that are not fight related, and you give us one word answers or one sentence answers. Okay?
Sure. Let's go.
All right. So I'm gonna start off by asking. Wait, one. Why don't you go first?
Okay, favorite show on Netflix?
The Office, but it's not in Singapore.
Oh, okay.
Okay. If you could eat one food for the rest of your life, what would you eat?
Chicken rice.
Team chicken rice.
Yeah.
One?
If you have a spirit animal, what will it be?
Lion.
A
What,
lion.
lion?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather be deaf or blind?
I'd rather be deaf. Because
So
at
you
least you
can
can
see
see
the
what's coming. Yeah.
Okay, and the last one would be, do you know that okay, which one is actually a berry? Strawberry or banana?
Banana.
Oh, you're smart. This guy is going places and smart. Okay, cool. Let's get on with the podcast again. Uh now it, it's it's kind of funny how you brought up that you were actually thinking that national service might hinder some of your training and stuff like that, but you ended up falling in love with it, falling in love with jujitsu even more now because you start to appreciate uh, things about your life through national service and also jujitsu, right? Because of the limitation of time, right? This is this kind of things, this kind of like mellowed out, kind of like advanced thinking kind of thing, right? It's always something that I realize I hear from a lot of jujitsu people and a lot of like, you follow
Yeah.
enough fighters on Instagram and stuff like that. You tend to see more and more BJJ memes and stuff like that. And it seems like, okay, first of all, jujitsu, the so-called coaches are called professors, right?
Yes.
And then on top of that, there's always like a lot of, teachings and stuff like that, about way of life and stuff like that. When you actually know people who practice jujitsu, they're actually like quite mellow out, and they are like kind of like advanced thinking beings and stuff like that. I mean, I don't agree with everything that they say, but if like you said, it's a bit like chess. So maybe they do think a lot more than other people. What's your perspective on this? Like, is jujitsu like, it seems like jujitsu teaches you a lot more than just grappling and submission skills. It kind of teaches you a lot about life, doesn't it?
Yes, because man, for me, I feel it teaches more about life because number one, if you get submitted or if you get put in a bad position, right? If you react like without thinking and you start to go into the problem straight ahead, you would definitely lose out. You would definitely you might even actually make it even worse, So like in for me in life, I feel that whenever I'm faced in like a very like stressful situation, even in the army, having a lot of work to do, people chasing after me and things like that, I learn to be calm. I do not panic whenever I have to really like think and like I figure out what are my options. The same goes for jiu-jitsu. I have options. Even if I have options. But the thing is, I have to be calm first. If I start to panic, then that's where I get make the submission even tighter. Then I have to, so that's how kind of jiu-jitsu kind of helps me. And at the same time, I feel that in order for me to be a good athlete, I have to kind of like live the lifestyle because you have to eat well, you have to sleep well, you have to train well, you have to stretch, you have to rest, you have how to prioritize your time. And that really changed me, because I want to get good. If I'm going out eating McDonald's every day, eating fried chicken, I'll be like, man, I still have a six pack, I mean, like, and but what for, I'm just looking good, that kind of thing, I want my body to be 100% and ready for anything, especially jiu-jitsu is like a very dangerous sport, and I've gotten so many injuries. I tore my left ankle ligament 4 times. I literally like can't walk without pain on my left ankle anymore. I run right, and I feel pain all the time. I have to just bite through the pain. I dislocated my pinky finger 2 years ago. Uh, I hurt my neck to the point where I can't move. For like 3 weeks, I was in bed. I was literally like paralyzed in bed for 3 weeks.
Hang on.
So
You have all these injuries, and you actually pick up jujitsu because you got injured in Muay Thai.
yeah, but but the thing
Seems
is,
like good trade off.
the thing is, I actually enjoy jiu-jitsu way more than Muay Thai, so I don't mind getting injured now. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, like you were saying, like jiu-jitsu is like a way of life. People like it's kind of cliche because like guy you see, masters like Helio Gracie, all the UFC guys, they always say like, oh, jiu-jitsu is a lifestyle. All the Brazilian guys will say that, and it's true to a certain extent. You don't like what my professor would say, like some guys in Brazil, they'll say like, oh, just need to wake up, train jiu-jitsu every day, go to the beach, surf, and then come back, that kind of thing. That kind of mentality is not right because even though you are living a good life, but how are you gonna earn? How are you gonna earn your money? I can't do jiu-jitsu full time because I wanna be a physiotherapist in the future. I have another goal. Jiu-jitsu is just my hobby, but I live the life where jiu-jitsu kind of helps me to keep myself fit, at the same time keep myself sane. I've learned how to manage my problems way better. I don't jump into conclusions and like stress myself out, all the time. And that's kind of how jiu-jitsu has helped me. And I feel that it has helped everyone, you know, everyone that's starting doing jiu-jitsu, right? They would feel that at the start their cardio will be shit. Their cardio will be terrible, then they will be like, oh, I'm tired, my joints hurt, I'm aching, everything. But they start to realize that they need to put more effort into their health. They need to do strength and conditioning. They need to eat well, sleep well, prioritize their time, then their lifestyle change. I have a friend. He's a dad. He's like 40, 50 years old. He just got his black belt. He's been training for so long, and man, he's living like the best life. He works super hard, but he's eating healthy, resting enough, going to the gym as much as he can. He's living that lifestyle, which I feel that it's not really like a jiu-jitsu lifestyle, but it just so happens to be a jiu-jitsu lifestyle. Even for, I feel, Ridhwan, for you guys, in order to be good, you have to eat healthy. You have to know when to stretch. You guys have to know when to rest. You know, I don't know if you do it. It's good if you do it. And for me, I do it a lot all the time. And it kind of has helped me a lot. Yeah. I feel better than ever, like compared to like back when I was like 16, 15 years old, when I was like fat, eating junk all day. It's like a total treat. Yeah.
Juan, do you feel that, do you feel like boxing also has things to teach about life? And do you relate to what Benji is saying about jiu-jitsu, about your own sport?
I think for sure. I mean, we all. I mean, as athletes, we love to do things that we can relate to life. Like for me, boxing obviously teaches me discipline, time management, what to prioritize in life, and it's all the cliche things. It's things that you can read on the internet. But the fact that we are living the life training, and we just have the skills that we learn from training, it just translates to life, like not to give up, to stay motivated, because not every day you won't have a fanfare to encourage you to go on. You need to be self-driven. I think for
Mhm.
me, you need one of the best skills that I took from boxing training is you need to be self-driven, because you can be motivated, you can be inspired, but at the end of the day, not every day everybody's going to be there to cheer you on. You need to have that feeling deep inside that that you really want to be the best that you can be, and you are your own toughest opponent.
Yeah.
Now, Benji, with everything going on, let's go back to 2018 when you were at the SEA Games. SEA Games, right? 2018, right?
2019.
2019.
Yeah.
So I mean, was it going into the competition, were you, because you've been competing at all the high level competition and stuff like that, did representing Singapore add a bit more pressure? Was there a different mindset, or were you just taking it as if it's another, competition that you've been through?
Okay, for the SEA Games was kind of special because one thing was I was finally representing my country.
Hmm.
I was like finally making a name for myself, finally putting Singapore on the map for jiu-jitsu, because Singapore is so, like, the jiu-jitsu scene is so small. You have guys like the powerhouse like Philippines and things like that. We were the underdog at SEA Games. And I felt that our team had the best performance in terms of like how our fighters fought at that point of time. So and we had literally the best lineup we can ever have. So there was a little bit of pressure for that. But the main pressure for me is when you win SEA Games, you have like the prize money, right?
Mm.
So that prize money, when you get the gold, you can only get the prize money when you get the gold medal. And man, I can still, man, I'm talking about this makes me want to cry. Because if I were to win that prize money, right, I will be able to at least pay back half of what my mom and dad has paid for me throughout the trips over the last 2 years. And I just really wanted it. I didn't want the medal. I didn't want the fame. I didn't want anything. I just wanted to repay whatever my parents has helped me, at that point of time. And I felt that it gave me a lot of pressure because 3 weeks before the competition, I tell this to my close friends and my training partners. They all know about this. So 3 weeks before the competition, I was training on a Sunday, and it was actually my rest day, but I decided to train. So I was training against a white belt, and he was the best white belt at the gym. He was a little bit bigger than me, but we were about the same weight. So he gave me a really, really hard time. and I was gassed out, and I was tired. I got my guard passed, which is like very, very uncommon for me, at least, you know. And like I was so disappointed. Straight after the training, we bowed out. I sat in the corner and cried, straight up. And I was like telling myself, Ben, are you actually ready for this? You know, this just happened, you know, and it's 3 weeks before the competition, your biggest competition, your life. You're gonna be on live TV. You're gonna have your family, your friends, my men in camp and my OC, my PC. Everyone was watching me live. You know, man, and I felt the pressure. You know, they were like, Ben, you can do this. You know, we're still gonna support you. We're gonna do this. We're gonna put it on a big screen and we're gonna watch you fight and everything. So I had that pressure, and I looked back and I was like, man, you know what, Ben, are you actually ready for this? Yeah, and I started crying. You know, I really started crying, and like I really felt the pressure. You know, and then my professor came up to me. He was like, Ben, this is just one of those days that every world champion has. You know, you can be close to the competition. You can be at the day of the competition, a day before the competition. But if let's say for if you let this break you now, you will already have lost the fight. That's not what I have trained you to do. You know, he told me that, and man, he gave me a very good pep talk at that point of time. My training partner Nathaniel was there. He really we were talking because we were like best friends. Also, we share everything, right? So I was like, bro, you know, I start to feel like friends, you know. Yeah, so I felt I was like, man, bro, I was like, I cannot, man. You know, I feel the pressure, you know. I start to feel it. I've never had this kind of pressure for any of my comps. I go in with a laser focused mindset. You can see my face when I go to compete. It's always like 100% focused.
Yeah. So,
But
but for
at
this
that
time,
comp, I
how do
felt,
you make
yeah,
it work for you?
man,
How do you
all I
make this
wanted was
pressure
the
work for
prize
you?
money. All I wanted was the money. I thought about my parents. I think that the thinking about my parents, right, is like the best thing that has helped me in my jiu-jitsu because they give me so much, and that all I can do is just win that competition just to show them that their efforts weren't wasted, you know. So I I just thought about that. All I thought was my mom, my dad, my men in camp, my friends, everyone. So I went into the comp. I won my first fight. I fought like I think a judo black belt from Vietnam. I submitted him in a triangle. And I was like, and I had only one fight left, which was the final. Man, I was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna beat this guy because I beat this guy before. Actually, last year in Mongolia, I beat this guy before. So and I beat him by points. It was really really close. So I started off with the fight. I still remember. I started with the fight. He scored 2 points on me. I was like, I wasn't bad. I was like, man, you know what? I looked at my coach. I was like, I got it, man. I got it. I got it. You know, I know that I'm losing now, but I'll get the points back. So I was trying to sweep. He was a lot stronger and a lot bigger, you know. But I was doing my best. I felt that I did whatever I could do until the point where I think when it's left like I think 3 minutes or about 4 minutes of the fight, I got stuck in a submission, which is like a toe hold. So it's when your foot kind of like bends all the way in, you know. So he caught my foot. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna tap, you know. I'm I'm gonna bite through the pain, even if my ankle breaks, right? I'm not gonna tap. I told myself this. And man, I was fucked. My ankle went like all the way. I have a photo of it. My ankle went all the way in, and I could feel it like my ligaments like ripping apart. Literally, it's like paper. Like when you, it's like popping. It popped like I think like 12, and I endured the pain for. And I spun around and tried to escape, and I felt that I couldn't escape, and I felt that my ankle. I was like, man, you know what? I had that is not gonna fuck my life up. You know, I'm not being gonna be able to walk kind of thing. And I told myself this, like, I'm not gonna tap, I'm not gonna tap. But when you actually feel it, like fuck, you know? I mean, Ridhwan, can you remember your first boxing fight when you first got punched in the face? Can
Yeah,
you do
man.
you do you remember that feeling?
Yeah, I cried in the
So
ring.
and you yeah. So you before the fight, before your first fight, you'll be like, I'm gonna take this punch. I'm gonna take it like a man.
Yeah, like I know it's going to be painful, but I didn't
Yeah.
know it was going to be this painful.
Yeah, that's how I felt. And I felt my ankle was gonna rip apart, and I just tapped, And I was lying down on the mat, looking up at the whole Philippines. It was like a home crowd. So I fought the guy from Philippines. And everyone was screaming. Everyone was cheering, And I looked. I just closed my eyes. Then I was thinking like, it's over, it's over. I lost the chance of repaying my parents back, you know. Then when I stood up, I saw my dad at the corner of my eye, sitting at the stands with my professor. I was like, I'm sorry, man. I disappointed you guys. Yeah, I was just really disappointed. Then I went back to the athletes area. I started crying. I was
Right.
crying not because my ankle was. Yeah, I'm a crybaby, man. I gotta
Same.
admit.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
gonna point out to everybody listening to the One Man Show. If you're a first time listener, this amount of crying does not usually happen on the show. It's just that just a lot of crying. One is saying that he's crying. Benjamin saying that he can't stop crying. I might start crying soon also because of this.
Yeah. So man, I was crying. Then the doctor was trying to look at my foot. It was super swelled up. Then my dad came to the back with well, no, actually no. My dad, no, not yet. My friends came first. Then they were like, "Man, are you okay?" I was just crying. Then
Your friends, as in
when
your teammates?
my teammates, yeah, my
Okay.
teammates were there. Yeah, I was really close to a few guys in the team. So they were like, "Man, you did your best," and things like that. I knew that I did my best, but I could then when it was time to collect the medal, so I was like, I didn't deserve this. I was queuing up. Then I called my mom first, if I'm not wrong. My friend gave me my phone. I was like, "Mommy, I was just very disappointed, And I wasn't even talking, man. I just started crying, and the first thing she just asked me, she just told me was, you did your best. She was very proud of me. Then I was like, man, you know what? It was like the best thing ever where your mom or your dad or both just like really proud, finally like really proud of what you. In the past I was like fat, didn't do anything, lazy, and sloppy and everything, But when they finally told me that they were very proud of me, I was like, you know what, that's like the best feeling in the world. And I think money can't buy that.
Yeah, I think that is
And
worth it,
yeah.
more worth it than a gold medal itself. Having parents who are proud of you,
Yes.
something that one might never have.
I think the fact
Man,
that I think it's more
we'll
pain.
get there, we'll get there, we'll get there.
Was it more painful the fact that you actually beat him before, and then that this time when it really matters, and the point that matters that you just didn't manage to bring back the win.
Yes. Man, I was so disappointed because I made a lot of mistakes, in the fight towards the end. I knew that he was going for my foot all the time. He was just waiting to catch my foot. And yeah, I know I let that happen, So fast forward, I mean I reflected and all, but it is what it is, I just have to fight again, We became friends after. So I just want to say, after I got the medal, I came down to the stands. So I came down to the back, and like they were like, I think channel news, I think they would press like interview for me. So straight after I came down, and I saw my dad and my coach coming towards me. The moment after I stopped the interview, right, my coach pulled out like from his back pocket. I don't know where he shoved the belt in, because I have no idea where he put the belt. Maybe it's up his ass or something. I don't know. He took it out, and I was like, "What?" And I started crying even more. I was like, "Yeah." Then my dad was there, and I was like crying, hugging my coach, my dad, and yeah, I know. And my coach wife was there. So basically, it was he got married to his wife at a few months before, and this was the honeymoon that that they went to, you know. So I promised my coach, you know what? Because I was like personal coach from the gym, not the national coach. You know, I was like, Professor, can you fly with me to Philly and come watch me fight? You know, because I really want you to be there. You know, you have seen me, you know my game, you know. And then he flew out with his wife for his honeymoon. You know, and it was like the best thing ever. Then
Is he
he gave
Brazilian?
me, yeah, he's Brazilian. His wife is Singaporean. Yeah, his wife is a local, used to be a local Muay Thai fighter as well. Yeah, so it was really cool. So uh yeah, fast forward, he pulled out the belt, man. I was just crying nonstop all the yeah, and I was just so happy. Then I had a video call from my friends back home. Man, they were all like they were all like that, and not yeah. My friends back home, they were like video calling me. They were like telling me how proud they were and things like that. Then the best part was my OC, my officer commanding in camp. Every time I want to go for training, he wouldn't let me go because I haven't done my work yet. But he's a very strict guy, but it was the first time he told me, he was like, Ben, you know what? All those training I let you go paid off.
So you took credit.
It's really funny for me. Like it meant a lot. Yeah, he took credit for it.
You,
I'm
you
like,
should you should tell him also, like, those trainings that you did
it was
not
as a
let me
joke.
go, that cost me the gold. You should have told him that.
No. He knew it. He knew it. Yeah. So man, I was like so happy, you know. And then I went back to the village, athletes village, replying all the messages and things like that. And man, I actually finally understood what was more important than the money at the point of time. It may sound very cliche, very cringy, but it was really like the support, you know, from your friends, family, training partners. Because without any of these guys, it wouldn't be possible. Jiu-jitsu is not it may be like a standalone sport. You have to fight on the ring alone, but the preparation, right, is the whole team behind you. You know, and I'm just very glad for Team Singapore and my sponsors, my gym, everyone. You know, without this, there's no preparation, there's no trainings, there's nobody to tell me and guide me what to do. You know, I'm just a normal guy doing this as a hobby. If I don't have these guys to guide me, right, man, I'll be lost and I'll just go in the ring and like mess up. You know, I don't know the ring on the mat and just mess up. You know, so
Benji, I'm glad you brought up like the support of like the BJJ community and stuff like that. How is the community in Singapore? Is it a big community? Is everybody close knit? Are there rivalries, or is everybody just just chill out and stuff like that?
So for me, it's like we have jiu-jitsu has gone a long way in Singapore. There's a lot of guys that are starting to pick up. There's like famous actors, actresses. If you guys know Faka Fast, yeah, Faka Fast trains at my gym. Super chill guy, super nice guy. He's super funny to roll with. He's always gassed out. So Fast, if you're seeing this,
Does he make
I'm gonna
jokes in between or what?
Is it
yeah,
because
I'm
he
gonna
Malay?
Dude, he's like the best guy, man, to hang out with. So, yeah, the scene has gone a long way. You know, in the past there was some gym to gym rivalries here and there, but I would say it's more of like everyone was very. It's still the jiu-jitsu community, you know. Everyone fights each other at the comps. There's like okay, for example, there's only like 3 comps a year in Singapore, or like 2 comps a year in Singapore. You always fight the same guy every single comp because the same guy will progress with you and with you all the way. So in the end, you'll just see who is better than the other, you know. And over the years, especially like last year or so, there's a lot of white belts trying to progress and like make the scene a lot. But there's definitely gonna like each sport. There's definitely gonna be some rivalry here and there, but I would feel that it's not as bad as like what's like in the like other countries, you know. For example, if like you train at another gym, it'll be like, and when you go back to your old gym, you'll be like, man, don't talk to me, you know, don't talk to me. You're no longer a part of us. Even though you are the guy paying the membership and things like that. It happens a lot. In Brazil, I think. I'm not very sure, but if I'm not in Brazil, it happens a lot. So yeah, I feel Singapore is too small of
I
a
think it's seen as a
community, right, to
betrayal
make it.
probably for them.
Yeah, for them, they see it as a betrayal because they're all like old school mentalities, But Singapore, I feel that it's too small to kind of like be separate because there's not a lot of high level athletes. Now we are all starting to develop now. At the point when I was starting to train, there weren't a lot of high level athletes, and it's best if we share. It's not we don't like keep it exclusive. Because the our goal is to win worlds. I'm pretty sure a few of the so we're getting there. We're getting there. The community is getting a lot more bonded. There's a lot more competitions, local competitions now. So I'm very happy now. Just seeing the scene like this. But man, there are still a couple guys in the scene that man like to stir shit and things like that. So
For
I don't
example,
want, but we like man, like every sport we have like backstabbers, shit talkers, and things like that. And like I don't get it, because it's such a close like we need each other, but you are bringing the other guy down just because what you don't like him or he competed with you before or I don't know, you know.
Well,
So
Benji, I can safely say that that happens all the time everywhere.
yeah,
I
yeah.
guess even for a chill out kind of MMA, a chill out kind of martial arts like uh, BJJ itself. I guess there
Mhm.
will still be a few rotten apples. Uh, just now you said the whole community is trying to band together to actually get a world champion. You got a bit cut off a bit, or is that right?
Yeah.
Speaking of
So
so speaking of having world champions and stuff like that, you're 21, 22. You are going to finish NS quite soon. What's up for you in the future? What's your immediate plans right now in BJJ and outside BJJ?
so I'll start outside BJJ first. I'll be going to Perth to study next year. I'm going to study physiotherapy. Yeah, I want to be a physiotherapist in the future. So that's good. Definitely good. But as for my so-called like jiu-jitsu career, uh, I'm just gonna keep training and just doing what I can. Compete in because now because of COVID, right? There's the World Championship this year is cancelled. So it's probably gonna be next year. But the next competition I think is like the ADCC trials, which is actually in Singapore. So like ADCC is like a prestigious kind of competition, no-gi
That's Abu
grappling,
Dhabi, right?
which is like yeah, Abu Dhabi combat championships or something like that. So the winner of the trials, the Asia and Oceania trials in Singapore at the end of the year, gets the free ticket to go to not Abu Dhabi, go to the US or I think the US to fight the ADCC championship. So I don't train. I have not, but the focus right now is that I train. I'm starting to switch my mindset a little bit because it requires a lot of it's more like because there's no and then for me it's bad for me because there's no because my jiu-jitsu game requires a lot of grips because of no gi. You can only grip the guy's hands and things like that. There's no gi. So it's harder for my game to be implemented. So yeah, I'm just trying to focus myself on for that next and hopefully the worlds next year. I'm very confident at least achieving top 3 in the worlds next year at purple belt. So
Brilliant.
That's confidence, man.
I have the mindset now. So all I need is the training. I just need the time to train. So
I,
yeah.
I I like the fact that you're actually starting to become a physiotherapist so that you're actually quite broken from jujitsu, so you could probably repair yourself. I like the thinking behind that.
Save
Yeah.
costs.
But man, the story about me being a physiotherapist, right, is not because I want to treat myself or I want to treat athletes. No, I actually want to treat old people. Yeah.
Ah,
It's a bit different. It's kind of weird for me because I have gone to see many physiotherapists in the past, And even for myself, right, I've like local hospitals, they don't give proper physiotherapy to the elderly, especially. You just say, oh, you do this exercise, this exercise, this exercise, and then they expect them to do it with them and then recover. And so they go, the elderly, especially like for me, my grandparents and my mom, my dad, they go to physiotherapy in the hospital, right? All I see is just, okay, you do this exercise, you know. Then after that, they come back, they don't get better. And in the end, right, they have to go see like a private physiotherapist, which is a little bit more focused and they can do a little bit more things, you know. And also, I want to change the mind. For me, want to open my own clinic and be affordable for the elderly. Number one, and because I think this is so expensive, you know, it's all in, like CBD area, things like that, you know,
Yep.
and it's very very pricey. Even though it's good and it helps you a lot, it's very very pricey, you know. So uh, I want to make it affordable. Number one, and it's for the elderly population where I I really want to see people recover. You know, because I've seen my mom, especially my mom, who's like injured also, like my mom's neck is problem, things like that. They Yeah, we just need proper treatment and better advice rather than you just do this. You know, because in hospitals in Singapore, it's more of like they can't do a lot of things because of a lot of restrictions. So they can only give certain advices. That's why I want to open my own clinic when I come back, and hopefully be able to do some good. Yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant. Benji, we're gonna wrap things up. Uh, but I just want to say your story is very compelling because uh, you're you're still so young, but you've achieved quite a lot, and it seems like you have a lot in place. Like I think your work ethic is one of the things that has brought you this far. Especially in jiu-jitsu, which consumes time and it needs commitment on top of everything else. The injuries and all that. And I think that your story is quite inspiring on how it just started from your dad calling you fat. It has
Yes.
manifested itself into a SEA Games silver medalist, and hopefully, we'll be cheering you on, the top three in the world, and when the next World Championship comes around or EDCC comes around and stuff like that. So, you know, thank you so much for being on the show. Uh,
Thank
I
you.
think it's brilliant how you've brought yourself upon how you brought yourself up in the BJJ world. I think it's very, very interesting, and a lot of people can learn from how hard work will pay off. If there's one thing that from an outsider, I would really want you to keep as you go on to this journey is that keep that motivation of wanting to do better, not just for yourself but also for your parents, because there's a lot of when it comes to motivation for a lot of things, it's very variable. A lot of motivation can go off once you achieve a certain level of success. Like you said, a lot of blue belts think that they know everything already, right?
Mm.
But trying to get the affection of your parents is a lifetime thing. One,
Yeah.
you can't relate to this one, but I'm talking to
This is gonna
Benji.
get this is gonna get you chicks. You see the soft side.
uh,
Oh,
like
he loves
and
the parents.
and like I said, making your parents proud is more than any gold medal in the world, and I think you should keep that in the back of your mind and keep it with you wherever you go. And I think you're on your way, man. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, man.
No worries. One, do you want to say anything to Benji before we wrap this up?
I think when Iman said about work ethic, we can see that you have incredible work ethic for sure. But I think the key difference is for you, and I think even for me, sometimes I forget that we need to love what we do. I think you only do your best work when you love what you do, when you do what you're meant to do. And I mean, when you have discipline and the fact that you have enthusiasm to like want to train tomorrow or the weekend, the next time you're out. I think that's a deadly combination to have when you're disciplined, and you're dedicated, and you really love what you're doing. You really want to do it for the love of it. So I think thank you also for reminding me that why I am boxing in the first place, because I love to do it. And I think you are off to really amazing things. And for you to boldly say that you're going to be top three in the world,
Yeah.
I mean, go all the way, man.
I'm
Go
for
all the way.
sure.
Go all the
Thank you
way.
so much, guys.
Well,
Thanks for having me, man.
No worries. Before we leave, Benji, do you just want to give a shout out to your sponsors, where people can find you online, and you came on here because you said you wanted to educate people and grow the BJJ community in Singapore, right?
Yeah.
Why don't
Yeah.
you give the stage is yours? Tell people why they should pick up BJJ on top of anything else.
Man, jiu-jitsu it changes your life, helps you learn self-defense. For the girls out there, it teaches you self-defense. And yeah, you can find me anytime at the gym at New Fit. Okay, we are located at Kallang Wave Mall. Okay, I'm gonna give a shout out to my sponsor Hyperfly, providing me the best gis in the game, best equipment, and my strength conditioning coach Will. Yeah, he played a very, very, very big part in my physical preparation for the SEA Games. And also, man, my parents, my family, my friends in the army, my superiors, everyone. Thank you guys so much for believing in me. If you guys want to come and learn jiu-jitsu as well, I'm always free. Once I ORD, once COVID dies, I'm more than willing to share and grow the community, help each and every one of you guys. You can be very low. You have low self-confidence, things like that. Once you start picking up jiu-jitsu, right, everything will start to change and everything will start changing for the better. So my favorite quote is go one more. I feel that going one more in life is the best, and doing everything in everything. You have to do more than what you need to do, in order to achieve success and greatness. And I feel that that's like work ethic, like what you guys say, work ethic is very important. So going one more in everything you guys do, be it your work, studies, whatever, it's going to help you in the long run. So, yeah.
Brilliant. Benji, what's your Instagram? People might want to check you out and slide into your DMs.
At Benji Bolo and Instagram, and you can find me on pretty much very active on Instagram. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
He also, for the ladies listening, he also has a lot of shirtless pictures that you can check out. His massive six pack. Just doing a bit of a promotion for my man here. Benji, thank you so much for being on the show. We truly appreciate you getting in touch, and we're truly motivated and inspired by your story. Remember also that there's no shame in crying. You can cry all you want. Ridhwan does it all the time when he's alone at night.
Shout out to all the crybabies.
Crybabies does not mean soft. It could be, the champions cry because they're in touch with their feelings, right? All right, guys.
Man, thank you guys.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to the One Man Show. Of course, we've, big thank you to everybody who has downloaded, stream, or are watching this on Spotify, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Now we've gone over 5K in listeners. Also, before I go, as per usual, thank you to all the frontliners working out there, risking your lives, keeping us safe. Those of you who are, being locked down in your own houses during this period, don't be a CB. Just listen to what the CB is supposed to be. And keep on listening to the One Man Show, because we have people like Benji coming in and surprising us with his stories and stuff like that. So thank you so much. This is the One Man Show. Bye, guys. Hang on.
So,
you have all these injuries and you actually pick up jiu-jitsu because you got injured in Muay Thai.
Yeah.